You'd be forgiven for assuming this song's lyrics were about Marshall Mathers' personal experiences and bouts with addiction and domestic violence. But if you listen through until the end, you'll hear the true and darker meaning to this song. There's a million subtle and not so subtle hints in the lyrics and in the music video, but if you're like me and miss all of those at first, well, let me walk you through it. On October 1st, 2017, Las Vegas was rocked by the worst massacre anyone in the area had ever witnessed. Being a local of the city at the time, there's nothing that compared. A 64-year-old madman shot up the Route 91 Harvest Festival, a local country music festival, from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip. He killed more than 60 people and injured over 400 after firing over 1,000 rounds into the crowd. He then shot himself in the hotel room, and that's where law enforcement found him. It was terrifying, and the days and weeks that followed resembled the aftermath of 9/11. And experiencing that national tragedy from across the pond in New Jersey, personally, when it happened, there was a thick and palpable silence in the air, mornings in October 2017, just as I remember from September 2001. And we all know somebody who was affected by both of those tragedies. It'd be hard to cover the history of Eminem in such a short time, so what I'll do instead is go through each lyric in this song and give a little explanation of the double meanings of each lyric, how it relates to Eminem's personal life, as well as how it relates to the Las Vegas Massacre, which was the intended message of this song. Eminem is clever and a lyrical genius. Double entendres are prevalent in his music, and he covers these tragedies in his songs in a way that's relatable to all of us who grew up listening to his music. He's gotten a lot of hate from media, politicians, celebrities, his personal issues, including his parents and ex-girlfriends and wives. So when this song started playing, not knowing the true context of it, I had assumed he was subtly implying his own darkness through his career, as Eminem has, I'm sure, faced battles with depression at times. So when the song started, I figured the song was going to speak on mental health issues and feeling alone, which are two battles I too have faced. Now please keep an open mind and assume you've never seen the music video before, as his first verse starts. The first subtle hint that the song may be about something bigger is when he says, I can feel these curtains close and I go to open them, but something pulls them closed again. Which to me was a slight nod to the Eminem Show or Encore, two very popular CDs for two very different reasons, and we'll cover some other time. But with the following lines, feels like I'm loathing in Las Vegas, haven't got the Vegas, why I'm so lost, but I'd make you this small wager, if I bet you I'll be in tomorrow's paper, who would the odds favor? We realize it's referencing the hotel room curtains of Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, which the shooter had probably peered through numerous times, and it really sets the stage and puts you there. Eminem has a phenomenal way of drawing you in and creating stories with his words. These next lines are a lot less subtle, and he even mentions loathing in Las Vegas, which was not just a movie, but probably how the gunman felt as well, loathsome and spiteful. To have committed such a hard act, you think one must be completely deranged and lack any form of empathy or relatability to society as a whole. He says he'd wager you he'd be in tomorrow's paper, which is true for both the shooter, who was covered extensively in the following days, but what I believe was Eminem's first shot at his own war with the media during his own career. So much like my father, you would think that I knew him. I keep pacing this room, Valium then chase it with booze. One little taste it'll do, maybe I'll take it and snooze, then tear up the stage in a few. I'm so much like my father seems to be addressing his own personal life issues once again. And continuing on, he mentioned Valium and booze. It seems to be aimed at his own past drug addictions as well as what the press says was found in the Las Vegas gunman's room. In context, this is probably what Eminem used to be like when he would take illicit substances, in this case Valium and booze, then have to go on stage and perform with the line, maybe I'll take it and snooze, then tear up the stage in a few. It seems to apply to both his own performances as well as exactly what the gunman did, tear up the stage or shoot up a concert. Fuck the Colt 45, I'ma need something stronger. If I pop any caps, it better be off of vodka. Round after round after
That's a lot of shots, huh?
Colt 45 being both a type of beer and a type of gun. And he just continues with the double entendres and even mentions it in his lyrics. The whole song and every line is a double or triple entendre, and it makes you think while also speaking on this tragedy in the shoes of the killer and the shoes of Eminem. The running commentary being that it could have just as easily been him, or it could just as easily been you. In this broken society and crumbling economic system of bigotry that hinders the weakest among us, there's so many underlying messages you could take away from this song, as in a lot of Eminem songs, as well as the main message he's portraying. And that's why I get excited about re-listening to his tracks, because every time I listen, I hear something different. And most of his songs have grown with me while I was growing through my life, and now have different meanings to me as they did back then when I first heard them. Not only has Eminem matured, his music and taste has matured, so has mine, and so has yours. So I really think the song Darkness is an amazing way to address his maturity as a storyteller, able to address such controversial topics without causing drama, and instead making people think what it would be like to hit that low of a point in your life. As I said, he has a way of hitting you with the ugly truth about ourselves, and that we're all only one bad phone call, one eviction, one piece of sudden life-altering bad news away from absolute monsters of men. It's incredible the abominations man has gotten away with throughout history, and yet it could be anyone, and that's what's so scary these days.
I can hear the music continue to crescendo. I can see the whole fucking venue from my window. That's when you know you're schizo. Cause I keep peeking out the curtain from the hotel. The music is so loud.
Moving on to the second verse of the song, he continues speaking about how drug addiction makes someone with mental disorders or depression feel with such a hopeless point of view, full of rage and paranoia, knowing what's about to happen. The double entendres continue as both relatable to the mass shooting in Las Vegas as well as Eminem's personal experiences with drugs and how he experienced time before performing on stage in his past.
But it's almost as though I don't hear no sound. I should get ready for the show now. Wait, is this the whole crowd? I thought the shit was sold out. But it's only the opening act. It's early, don't overreact. There's something told me relax and just hope for the show to be packed. Don't wanna hit the stage before they fill each row to the max, cause that'd be totally whacked. You can't murder a show nobody's at. But what if nobody shows?
Maybe believing nobody would show up to his shows, and what's the point of even performing if nobody shows, in kind of a self-sabotaging mindset, putting himself down, believing he's not good enough, or that anybody could enjoy his music enough to want to be there at his shows. Also probably stemming from childhood resentment of his parents not being around, or showing they were proud of him. It's all very deep, and I could be digging deeper than I should into it, but I really do think Eminem thinks of these same things while writing his lyrics. I could be wrong though. The rest of the song starts to get really obvious about what the intended message is.
Panic mode, about to snap and go motherfucking wacko at any second. About to cancel the show just as fans below rush the entrance. Plan is to go direct shit, cameras in all directions. The press is about to go ape shit, bananas on all the networks. Commando with extra clips, I got ammo for all the hecklers. I'm armed to the teeth. Another volume fall off the bed, hit the ground and crawl to the dresser. Alcohol on my breath as I reach for the scope. I'm blacking out, I'm all out of meds with them benzodiazepines. Gone now, it's just magazines sprawled out on the floor.
The Harvest Festival had many acts, and as the night goes on, the crowd gets larger and more compact as the shooter gets more irate and continues to load clips and prepare for the evil he is about to unleash on every innocent victim, to be covered in tomorrow's news on every network, every gruesome detail.
Fuck the media, I'm going all out, this is war. Darkness, I don't wanna be alone in the darkness. Yeah. I don't wanna be alone in the darkness. I don't wanna be alone in the darkness anymore. People start to show up, time to start the show up. It's 10:05 p.m. and the curtain starts to go up. And I'm already sweating, but I'm locked and loaded for rapid fire spitting. For all the concert goers, scopes for sniper vision. Surprise from out of nowhere as I slide the clip in from inside the hotel, leaning out the window, going Kaiser trigger, but I'm a licensed owner with no prior convictions. So loss the sky's the limit, so my supply's infinite.
Eminem then throws a shot at what I believe is gun rights laws.
But I'm a licensed owner with no prior convictions. So loss the sky's the limit, so my supply's infinite.
Or the implied notion that only mentally unstable people with prior mental history commit such acts, like in the Batman shooter's case or the Sandy Hook shooting. But in this line, he makes you aware that this man had no prior history of violence. He was a licensed owner. Everyone who spoke with him every day and night before the attack said there was never any indication that made this so much more terrifying. How does one keep such a normal facade and seem so average yet harbor such disdain? It blew apart the entire media's narrative, and there's still no full explanation, and probably never will be.
Strapped like I'm a soldier, got 'em hopping over walls and climbing fences. Some of them John Travolta, staying alive by inches. Cops are knocking, oh fuck, thought I blocked the entrance. Guess your time is over. No suicide note, just a note for target distance. But if you'd like to know the reason why I did this, you'll never find a motive. Truth is I have no idea. I am just this stumped, no signs of mental illness. Just trying to show you the reason why we're so fucked. Cause by the time it's over, we'll make the slightest difference.
His final lines basically state that we should be aware that nothing is going to change, so it doesn't matter, and it seems pessimistic to say something like that, but mental issues, gun laws, and drug addiction are all hot-button topics, and I think a lot of us agree most conversation about these topics go only on a few days after a mass shooting. Since the days of Columbine, we've been talking about this, and every year there's more and more mass shootings. What is the solution? And what does it mean when you can have none of these issues and still commit atrocities? It should be our right to legally bear arms, but it was this man's right, and what happened? Background checks, mental health checks, this man probably would have passed them both. The song continues with news clips speaking about all the different stories pertaining to these issues, mass shootings and school shootings, and there's nobody to blame because they happen in rich and poor areas, white and black and Asian shooters in malls, churches, college campuses, Walmarts, etc. Even cops committing horrible acts on live TV has to come to an end. Luckily, humanity, I believe, contains more good than bad, but when bad happens, usually it's huge, and the media only makes it worse by lying and creating narratives. I hope this video helped you to understand this one specific Eminem song better, and if you like more content like this, feel free to leave a comment about what Eminem content I should cover next. Think about subscribing, because 99% of everyone who visits our channel are not subscribed, and if we want to hit 10,000 by the end of the year, I'm going to need all the help I can get. So thank you, and catch you all next time. Peace out.